What's up, guys? Another day, another vlog. Back in the garage gym, baby's sleeping, so thus the no music. But I'm feeling better. Sleep was a little bit better last night, aka I was up at 12, 1:30, and 3:30 a.m. with my 3.5-year-old going to the bathroom. Not me going to the bathroom, but being there for moral support. So that being said, little beat up today as far as engine, but we're gonna get a good 20-minute workout in. Do some 5-minute rounds of rowing, some squatting, and then something upper body. Yesterday started some flies and upper body pressing movements, so still beat up from there, but you gotta check that box, right? So warm-ups, right? How much to do, what do you need to do? Is there any movement specific stuff? At the end of the day, it should be a warm-up. So anything from a passive mobility into dynamic warm-ups, into skill-specific movements, into the workout is fine. And other days, doing 30 burpees, get your heart rate up there and get going. When you don't have time is just as fine. You need to find a system that works for you. And the only way you can do that is if you try a bunch of systems out, right? Part of the programming that we have for our group online gives you 5 to 6 different full body warm-ups that you can try. And the goal as a coach for me is to educate and show you guys how to do movements. But at the end of the day is for you guys to try a bunch of different things out, to find tools that work best for you, put them in your toolbox, rinse and repeat. So some warm-up movements might work great for me, but not so much for you. So that's why we throw literally the kitchen sink at you as far as volume, movements, variance, so that you can find what works best for you. And the goal is over time to have that toolbox of not only warm-ups, cool downs, mobility, nutrition, you name it, lifestyle, morning routines, evening routines that work best for you. My goal here as a guide is to filter everything that's out there. On top of that, to use what I've done the last 10 years to implement what I think is best for you, especially if you're already following me, if you're part of our online fitness group, or if you work with me one-on-one, right? Another good way to find out if your warm-up fit what the workout was supposed to be or stimulus is if you hit the ground running during your workout, your first round, first set, if you feel good. If it takes you a couple rounds to get into the groove, it means we need to increase your warm-up, right? We don't want to waste 3 rounds of 6 rounds getting to a part where we're ready to push. We want to be ready to push when we start. So that's a good telltale sign about your warm-up. Catching my breath. Not feeling on all cylinders because of earlier in the vlog. But now what I'm going to do is, we had swings yesterday, bike, row today, frontal plane or front squats, loaded squats, goblet squats. So my hips are tight. I can feel it because I feel it in my back and my quads and my knees. So I'm going to show you guys how to use a lacrosse ball when you don't play lacrosse. So first things first is you will need a lacrosse ball. You can get on Amazon, any kind of lacrosse or floor hockey place is good, but you need a little bit of density. The softer ones I find don't work as well, aka tennis balls. You definitely don't want to use something smaller than this, like a golf ball. That's a little too much acute pressure in one area. But like I said, my lower back's starting to feel it, my knees are starting to feel it. So the first place I usually do a work on is, besides all the FRC work with my hips, is actually a little PNF, a little rollout on a lacrosse ball. So the first place I'm going to look for is I'm going to work around my belt line, right? So if you imagine where you put your belts on or the top end of your shorts or pants, that's what we're working on.
I'm gonna start right in the middle. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a zigzag shape all along that belt line until I get to my side, and then I'm gonna work my way back. Usually we do 2 or 3 passes and that's enough. Right, I'm looking for right at that belt line, just making small zigzags. If you find that it's uncomfortable, right, A, you're sitting on a lacrosse ball, but B, try to exhale through those knots, little bumps that you find. So I'll breathe in. As I exhale, I'm thinking about relaxing all the muscle, all the tension that I have, so that that lacrosse ball can do what it's supposed to do, which is a little bit of a deep tissue massage. Right, work my way up to the hips, work my way back. I'm gonna stay on one side for all sets. The reason being is as that fascia or that skin and muscle start to separate, and then as you start to relax sitting on a lacrosse ball, you can get deeper and deeper. I find if I alternate, the muscle and my body goes back to status quo, and it gets hard just like it was round 1 to get deep in there. Okay, obviously you want to switch over to the other side. Same scenario, that first round's a little tight. I can always tell when I get videos from clients or group classes that you know they've reached their tender or tight point because you do the Popeye, the one eye wink, which is right where we want you to be, right? So why only 2 to 3 rounds as I finish off my second round is because this is a lot of pinpoint or acute pressure with the lacrosse ball. If you do too many rounds, no matter how good it feels, because the muscle starts to relax, you can bruise, right? This is hard. So you want to be gentle. Start with 2 to 3 and kind of adjust as needed. But the whole goal is to loosen up. That's how we take pressure off our back and our hips, is by loosening up all the supporting muscle groups, joints, and a lot of the fascia or skin muscle adhesion that a lot of us have for sitting for long hours a day. Right, so that's the first one. Next is I'm actually gonna get right into the glute, right? So think back pocket of a pair of jeans, go hunting for something that's tight. So once you have that, first thing to do is for about a minute, just breathe, right? Belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, breathe in through the belly. As you exhale, focus on the pressure where the lacrosse ball is melting away. All right, you're gonna do that for about a minute. Once it settles in, what you're gonna do is you're gonna clench or flex your butt, your glute, for 5 seconds, and then you're gonna relax. Now, if you can do that with one butt cheek, awesome. If it's a little bit of balancing too many plates, just squeeze both glutes. So we're gonna squeeze 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And as I relax, once again, just doing that belly breathing, right? Inhale through the nose. As I exhale, looking to melt away. Right? We're gonna rinse and repeat that for 5 rounds. So flex, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. How much relax? Just to kind of create some wiggle room, take up some slack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. So I'm just gonna do 3 rounds today to show you guys, and the last thing is going to be more of a flossing or a tack and stretch. So from here, I'm going to extend my leg and then bring it as close to my chest, right? Quad or knee to chest. We're gonna do that 7 to 10 times, getting a little bit deeper and deeper. Right, still on that same point. So we systematically went through from easiest to hardest to kind of loosen up the muscle and the tissue before we got into that tack and stretch or that flossing. And the reason being is if you go straight to something that's really advanced, like you guys know with weight training, you could potentially hurt yourself. Even with mobility or dynamic mobility, there are steps that you want to take. You don't want to go straight into butt kickers or high knees, right? You want to warm up to it. So there's 3 movements for the glute. Hopefully alleviate some pressure on the back, hips. And as you guys know, everything's connected upstream and downstream. Comment below when you worked out today, when you checked that box. Let me know if you did some lacrosse ball mobility. Okay guys, see you tomorrow.